Satan's Booty Hole. Wednesday, April 10, 2021. My reality show, dedicated to my son, his life of suffering and wasteful death. Jehovah's Witnesses prove that Jesus was crowned king in heaven 1914. Luke 10:18, Jesus said, I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven. Now, when the tornado occurred, people say, oh, Satan caused it. So this person photoshopped the serpent Satan in a tornado. I don't have to put Photoshop Satan into anything. I tried to contact Washington. Now, Washington threatened war because a country wanted to charge the United States at The Hague. But instead of 8 judges, there are now 18 judges. We noticed that the United States courts toy with Donald Trump, and we don't want to be toyed with. My life coach said, we have to be bold girls and follow the cerebral opportunity. I always put the same proof that I'm in Satan's booty hole. August 8, 2023, I have my charges of outrageous government conduct to African American sheriff. My 56 years with Americans, American System and Jehovah's Witnesses. My 46 years in the United States trying to see where I fit. Trying to be me, my authentic self, my value systems of choice, my preferences, what I reject. All the bad things which we never want to occur again, like the Holocaust, O.J. Simpson's wife murder, my son's murder, my sister's murder. When I worked for the government of Jamaica in the summer of high school, we built hotels, mansions, etc. Jamaica has a flourishing tourist industry. But people paid full price to live near the Queen's 2 properties in Jamaica. The Queen, because she had 2 properties where she stayed, her friends stayed. She did a lot for Jamaica, like put Cambridge University in our high schools. But I just compare working in the summer of high school with the government of Jamaica, with all the deeds in the basement, to what I've experienced working with the City of Delray Beach Code Enforcement, and also observing Point Beach, Delray Beach, and Boca Raton. I noticed that the builders and developers are allowed, because they have big money, to terrorize property owners. In 1968, I was extracted from a close and synergistic family into the Jehovah's Witnesses betrayal. This was a betrayal because, well, they now have a Kingdom Hall built in my mother's neighborhood. Jehovah's Witnesses were Adventists who controlled Kellogg's Cornflakes, but now the Jehovah's Witnesses control 23 buildings and land and buildings all over the world. Now, a big white man came to my house in Jamaica in 1967. USA occupied Jamaica. I noticed that the Jamaican dollar lost value, slowly lost value. But at the same time, the JOW.org was proceeding to acquire land and buildings all over the world, even in my parents' neighborhood. Here's a Kingdom Hall with a for sale sign. This is the property sold to Charles Kushner, who went to prison for not paying his taxes, for $340 million. So that's how it became clear that was a betrayal, because they did not sell to a neutral party, and I have to isolate from my family, don't celebrate birthday, Christmas, and not celebrate 4th of July. This is just a larger picture of those 2 properties. Clear that's a Kingdom Hall for sale. They thought I'd be silenced and overkill, but they killed Mommy Dolphin. We need support to go to the International Criminal Court, where they now have 18 judges, mostly women, instead of 8 judges. We need support from my mother's country, Jamaica, and my father's country, Cuba. and the original country which want to file charges against the United States. I know the name, I won't mention it right now because when whole countries are injured in any way or are impacted negatively in any way, it's pretty painful. Now, people in America say 13 is bad luck, but 13 must be Satan's number, so that's why it brings bad luck. This is sunset now when my sons crash. The Tampa Bay Times with my sons crash. Now, we were isolated and not allowed to go to divorce court so that a judge could protect a child who did everything he was supposed to do by 6 years old. He tested gifted at Hagen Ranch Elementary School. And the other child was in the Brain Bowl trying to get a college scholarship. Now, the older one who was tested gifted at 6, he was working at CVS and he came over to FAU campus because I was in classes at FAU. So he was in a leadership conference and I showed him the library and tell him, they probably were wondering what I needed. I had to find out what I needed. So my sons crash at 1300 Northwest 13th Street. That's 2 13s, double bad luck, double Satan. And I'm really sure I'm in Satan's booty hole now because 2 smart men who were isolated by Jehovah's Witnesses could have been safe in Jamaica. Worst of all, when I look into my son's eyes, I remember working with only one son. For him, I do these reality shows, I do these videos, and I might do a podcast. My son, he liked when he was an only child. He had a Cuban babysitter. I worked in computer operations, 12-hour shifts, so I had Fridays off. We had Friday play dates at Morrison's Cafeteria. And then he watched me on Saturdays, and he tried to talk to me on Saturdays. His father ruined that. That was working for me. I feel like my situation is worse than a Muslim beheading. Jamaica lost Mommy Dolphin. When she came 2001, she did not understand the volatility in the United States. I have to do these videos, make people understand volatility and understand what is out of whack. She is the number 1 parent at Wolmer's High School in Jamaica. Her son was the number 1 Rhodes Scholar from Wolmer's High School. She was a favorite at the top law firm in Jamaica, Laval. Eduardo of Cuba lost 2 grandsons and he lost his last daughter. He had 6 daughters. This was his last daughter. This was his daughter that he spent the most time with, and with her sons and with her extremely gifted son who is now a PhD in neurosurgery. So the volatility in the United States has impacted my family really badly. Mommy Dolphin is not a good person to destroy. She's number 6 of Eduardo of Cuba's daughters. In high school, she had the best figure. When she was a banker, she was the best banker. She had the best husband, the best attorney director partner. Her son hugged her like that all the time, and he nicknamed it Mommy Dolphin because baby dolphins are close with their mother dolphins. You'll see pictures of mother and baby dolphins together. This is Mommy Dolphin at her son's wedding. He got his PhD and then married a girl that he wanted to. She was the best banker while being the best mother. Not only work but also have fun with her son and his friends. I tried to tell Washington about this volatility, that it's being identified and we feel that there are solutions because many countries do not function like this. This class in Jamaica was supposed to go to university in Canada. St. St. Hugh's High School had a state-of-the-art language lab. We studied French for 7 years because Toronto loves Jamaicans. I have many videos about politics and government in Jamaica. And we studied French for 7 years. I went to France 2017. I've been to Canada a few times and I have family in Canada. But when I was 10, a big white man came to my house in Jamaica. And my dad chased him away. And then a pretty white lady came and I started reading her magazines. And then the Jackson 5 came to Jamaica and had a concert. They were Jehovah's Witnesses. So I lived with the Jehovah's Witnesses and I went to school in Miami. But when Michael Jackson did Thriller, he had a press conference stating he was no longer Jehovah's Witness. And he did this video, They Don't Care About Us. Now, quietly, some people don't even know that there's a Jehovah's Witness Kingdom Hall right by FAU. I'm in the computer lab at FAU right now. There's a Jehovah's Witness over there, and people just don't know what's going on there. And they don't know that there were 23 billion in land and buildings all over the world either. But they don't care about us. And Tyler said, trust nobody. She has a whole song. It's pretty interesting, nice cultural song about trust. Before me, O.J. Simpson's wife experienced overkill. And I want you to look at this. Where women are concerned, I have 5 sisters, and then I had 3 cousins whose parents were in New York while they grew up with us. So I grew up with 9 girls pretty closely. Now, do you notice how these women's faces were destroyed? That shows you the value system is being eroded. That's a whole other video. I have a video about anthropology, cultural differences, and value systems. But you see, it's how people are treating women. That's a problem. It's crimes against women and children. They thought I would be silenced on overkill. Yes, this is very painful for me to see, but I think if you analyze it and realize the cover-ups that I've seen and my August 8, 2023 outrageous government conduct situation, I don't have pictures of it, but I have some evidence from the place I was working. My son suffered a lot by the betrayal. He suffered his whole life, really. I know what childcare is like. He had a babysitter who was Cuban. And I grew up with children. I formed a little bunny club when we were children. But we were a little spoiled in Jamaica because my mother had servants to help us. But John Sarbanes has a video number 4. And he's talking about For the People Act. And he was worried about certain things that were happening in Maryland. But this template shows you that if he thinks Maryland is bad, I work for the city of Delray Beach. And I can tell you, it's the most satanic place. For instance, the person who bullied me out of government, her husband is a state registered sex offender. She was in foreclosure and she told a lie on me. I didn't know the word to tell the city manager that she was bullying me. I didn't have the words to say that I've been in government since I was 17. And of course, I saw the sign in Boca Raton of the developers terrorizing people for gentrification. And of course, Beach, I had an incident with 2 African-American sheriffs. The sheriff did a false arrest and then they came up to Jupiter where I was working, did some kind of show of power, which I call it Obama, free phone, pray conquest, nigger gang, stalking bullying. So, my friends, family, citizens of Jamaica, citizens of Cuba, the country which wants to file charge against the United States at The Hague, tread lightly. Fools rush in where angels fear to tread. I went to Broward County to go to a Jamaican city, Lauderhill or Lauderdale Lakes. I feel really good, although they hurt me when I was in Broward because they call each other in their hunt. I met a commissioner from Lauderdale Lakes, and she's Jamaican, and she went to the school that my cousin, who is a PhD, went to that same school. They were more ladylike than us. They were very quiet Catholic girls. So I feel a little better because I have the videos and I just sent it to her so she can look at what's happening in Lauderdale Lakes and compare it to what's happening here. I'm sure the properties in Lauderdale Lakes are of less value than the properties in Palm Beach County. Well, for my 5 government jobs, I never saw greed, bribery, corruption, construction greed, gentrification, and conflict like I saw in the city of Delray Beach. And I guess that's how come they could bully me out, because the priority was really the construction and the monetizing the city. But August 8, 2023, that scenario is really a paradigm. And when I describe it to people, I'm like, wow, I'm like prey, But I just need to tell people the reality of this. A country so rich would be a good tool for Satan, of course. When you look at the chart, which country has the most gold? The United States, then Germany. So if Satan can drive the people who are wealthy, then he has a good tool. The only thing is that Islam and China are together. They are in BRICS. And I met some friends of the 9/11 pilots in Delray, and they said they were doing a jihad to destroy the United States. I don't know how much those guys say those things, and China also said they dethroned in the US dollar, so they say a lot of things. But I noticed that the African Americans say a lot of things too, but as far as doing something. But the only reason why I'm showing this is because you all fight over these properties and everything. It's so greedy. And there's other countries that want to destroy everything. And you see that Pier 1 Imports is out of business. Tuesday morning, Steinmart, Delray Beach McDonald's, Delray Beach Burger King, Boca Kentucky Fried Chicken. And you just cannot change your values to be more Christian. China is the one that clearly said that the United States is going to fall like Rome when they dethrone the US dollar. And all these buildings you're fighting over will be empty. This is the latest propaganda from BRICS. It says similar to the fall of the Roman Empire. But I'm putting this in here because I think that you should want to be more like a Christian because of what's happening in the world. I see this kill off, and I was looking through books in Florida Atlantic University Library, and there was this book with Cambridge University talking about the WARC number 6 has 3 action plans, and one of them is for population control. Now, we saw COVID shut down the whole world and so many people died. It was global. And then there was this video with the robot Sophie and Hans. They say there's too much human conflict, so the robots have to take over the work. And I've seen these conflicts at work and everything. I tell people I think Biden killed his first wife and we'll never know the answer. Elon Musk says that somebody is ahead of the intersection of society. John Sarbanes implied that 31 million of big money were against 300 million people of limited value. Japan is setting the pace. They set the pace with Toyota and Honda, and they're setting the pace with robotics. Robots are relieving the burdens from humans, but we're going to have the singularity, and the robots will have the kind of control which has some risk. A student at FAU said that Klaus Schwab and George Soros are the ones spreading Marxism in the United States. I researched Klaus Schwab and George Soros, and they work for Hitler. They're a little bit old, but if they belong to the KKK society, I guess their Marxism could be spread that way. Who knows? Andrew Bustamante, a former CIA agent, is making a lot of videos on YouTube, and I just can't believe that the CIA allows him to say all these things, but he said some things they don't allow him to say. But he said about they hire people with dysfunction who are academically excellent, and then they teach them secrets and lies, and that's how they operate in other countries and gets people's secrets in other countries. And he started a business here now in the United States. So he's using the psychology and the secrets of lie and lies in business here in the United States. Here's John Sarbanes. Paul Sarbanes died and John Sarbanes retired. I was very sad because I was like, I should move to Maryland to be near to John Sarbanes because of the For the People Act, which he passed Congress but did not pass the Senate and the House. But if he thinks Maryland is bad, I had to let him see what Boca Del Rey and Boynton is like. And he said it's 300 million against big money. I don't know what is worse. African Americans who crave government power and crave personal power. Meaning for me, I've been attacked by a cashier in Panera Bread. She said, don't use the Wi-Fi unless you're a customer. Don't sit out here unless you're a customer. And then the cashier in Dollar Tree, she took $15 off my gift card. And the security guard. Well, anyway, I'm trying to work online so I don't have to have conflict with these people. But they already killed my children and took my government job. What else do they want? My father's a Cuban fighter, so I'm not going to be intimidated by them. I know they're stalkers, but I don't know what's worse. Is the white kill-off worse? All I say to people is tread lightly. Fools rush in where angels fear to tread. Yeah, robots harvesting, cleaning toilets, and doing a lot of work that's a burden to humans can be a cure. Putin made a speech that Trump's case showed a hypocrisy in the United States. For me, Trump's case shows that the American court system toys with people. He's a president, former president, and he's a successful entrepreneur. Pull your research together. Pull all your research together. Get your committee or your advisory board together. Gather all the evidence and take him to court. Don't toy with him. I don't want to be toyed with in court. I want to sue the United States for outrageous government conduct. And I want to go to the International Criminal Court because there's too much volatility in the United States. This is the video where Sophia and Hans talk about in 12 minutes of 23 minutes that there will be less conflict with robots. And this is just BRICS expanding. The Chinese president is dethroning the US dollar and he's putting in systems. The IMF broke a lot of countries. I have the currency chart, that's a different video. But China is doing a lot of infrastructure projects all over the world, helping countries, and it's costing them less. So here's BRICS, Muslim and BRICS all together. I'm afraid that they did the accounting, and Biden did the accounting also. Biden said we're going to reset the US dollar. People think Biden doesn't do anything, but when he says he's going to reset the US dollar, he knows all the people who are trying to dethrone that dollar, and he's doing the accounting for the country. I guess Kamala Harris is doing the legwork and the publicity to keep African Americans who want the power calm. Here's my conflict paradigm again. I had a false arrest. He gave my things to a Spanish lady, asked me what you want out of this bag. I said my passport and my wallet. Of course, these are the gangs of African American state troopers. Instead of a divorce, this is what I get. This will go to court. This one has time and date stamp. But August 8, 2023, I don't have time and date stamp. Yes, we need a cure because we have gangs in government, we have power paradigm, and we have a conflict paradigm. And the winner is they choose values, education, and skills. That's better than gangs. The robots will give us just skills, no conflict.